Hi everybody, my name is Lee, and with this video I'm talking about Socialist Alternative. I've made videos for Democratic Socialist of America, also the Green Party, who are eco-socialists, and there are other groups like Socialist Workers. There's also groups like Working Families Party that focuses on labor. Many groups that are left and progressive that are available for people to explore if they are also philosophically leaning in that direction. Socialist Alternative does good work. They are making a lot of moves. I'm at the Socialist Alternative website right now. They've got a lot of interesting news articles that I follow just so I can see what's going on. And they often fight with other groups, that they're very collaborative, that they collaborate across the political spectrum with Black Lives Matter, Occupy Wall Street, the Fight for 15, even the Green Party. And then they also supported Bernie Sanders. Well, at least Kshama Sawant did. And so Socialist Alternative is the organization that actually spearheaded Kshama Sawant's campaign for the Seattle City Council. And so she is what we call a local or municipal political official with nationwide prominence, that she's known for her work nationwide. And so there are no little offices, just like there are no little roles, that she's expanded her influence to the point that she was able to convince the City Council of Seattle to divest from Wells Fargo due to the support for one, the Dakota Access Pipeline, and then two, because of their support for prison building and mass incarceration. And so that's what can happen at the municipal level. If you're considering running for office, again, there are no small offices. It's only your constraints are only what you make of them. That you can have a big influence. And so because Kshama Sawant actually ran as a write-in candidate for the Seattle City Council, she lost that initial campaign, and then with the Socialist Alternative backing her, she won her seat, and then she won her seat again. And so that's what they were able to do with Kshama Sawant. And so then she went on to serve the public. And so Socialist Alternative is a national organization. They fight in workplaces, communities, and campuses against exploitation and injustices for people every day. They're community activists. They campaign against budget cuts in public services. Like I mentioned, they're campaigning for $15 minimum wage, and then also fighting for democratic unions. They are speaking out against racism, attacks on immigrants, students organizing against tuition hikes, war, and then fighting for women, and then fighting sexism and homophobia. And so they have concerns about the duopoly system, and so they encourage additional people to fight with them for these reasons. And so they are actually in political solidarity with Committee for Workers International. It's a worldwide socialist organization in 47 countries on every continent. So we have a U.S. Socialist Party, and then they're part of a larger organization similar to the Greens, who are a U.S. party, and then there's Greens nationwide. And so, if you want to know what they stand for, I looked through their platform, which is extensive, several times, and I get the understanding that Socialist Alternative stands for mostly what Bernie Sanders, who's the Democratic Socialist, and then Jill Stein, who is an eco-socialist, what they stand for, and their political campaigns, what they stood for. And so Socialist Alternative says that they're fighting for the 99%, Of course, they want to raise the federal minimum wage and have free, high quality public information, free quality health care for all, no budget cuts in education, or social services. They want a living wage union for jobs for all. They want rent control. They want a minimum guaranteed weekly income of $600 per week. They want to repeal anti-union laws like Taft-Hartley. No more layoffs. Break the power of Wall Street, and then shorten the work week with no loss of pay and benefits. They're fighting for environmental sustainability. They want to fight climate change. They want to extend public transportation. They want democratic public ownership of the big energy companies. And they're very much interested in the concept of a Green New Deal. In fact, creating jobs for all with living wages by making renewable energy and infrastructure a priority over fossil fuel companies. They want equal rights for all. They want to fight discrimination based on race, nationality, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, religion, disability, age, and all other forms of prejudice. They want equal pay for equal work. They're fighting for Black Lives Matter. They're fighting against police brutality and institutional racism of the criminal justice system. They want to invest in rehabilitation, job training, and living wage jobs, not prisons. And they want to abolish the death penalty. They want to defend immigrant rights. They want to fight sexual harassment. They want to fight to defend a woman's rights to choose whether and when to have children. They want to fight discrimination and violence against LGBTQ. They want money for jobs and education, not war. And so they want to end the occupation of Afghanistan and Iraq. They want to bring all troops home now. They want to slash the military budget, no drones, shut down Guantanamo. They want to repeal the Patriot Act, NDAA, and other attacks on democratic rights. They want to break with the two parties of big business for a mass workers' party. And they want unions and other social movement organizations to stop funding and supporting the Democratic and Republican parties, which makes complete sense. Socialism and internationalism, this is their economic focus. They say that capitalism produces poverty, inequality, environmental destruction, and more. And so they want to have an international struggle against this failed system. And they say no to corporate free trade agreements, like many on the left, in the center, and the right, that they object to the trade deals, like what I've spoken of before, TISA, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, the Trade Services Agreement, and Trans-Pacific Partnership, trade agreements like those. They want solidarity with the struggles of workers and oppressed people internationally. They want public ownership of top 500 corporations and banks. And so that's basically it. I'm sure there's a lot more they could say. But anyway, I've spoken about Kshama Sawant and the work that she's done as a member of the Seattle City Council, and then as a surrogate for Bernie Sanders during his campaign in 2016, and then as a surrogate for Jill Stein during her campaign of 2016, and the contributions that she's made on a national level, including inducing the city of Seattle to divest from Wells Fargo. But there are other candidates running as socialist alternatives in various cities. Seattle's independent left is growing. Nikkita Oliver and John Grant, their campaigns, and I'll post a link to this article on them in the description. It looks like they were running for city council as well, and I think one of them is running for mayor. Also Ginger Jensen, who's running in Minneapolis. So I'll post those links. Also, I'll link to Kshama Sawant's Wikipedia page, and then her her official campaign page, which has a lot of information about her. And so reading all this, it should give you an idea of what the Socialist Alternative stands for. If you are familiar with Bernie Sanders' platform, also Jill Stein's platform, then this is basically not a stretch too far to see what Socialist Alternative is about. Very closely aligned. And so hopefully you can learn more. If you want to sign up to their newsletter, they have that. You can get notices from their website, all kinds of things. And so if you're at all interested, that's the place you should go. The links are in the description. Good luck.